Welcome back, boys and girls. This is our last chapter of Poppy and Rye, chapter 28, Farewells. With the dam broken, the brook soon resumed its calm, meandering state. The water cleared, the waterlogged banks dried. Almost overnight, new green shoots sprang up. Lilies quickly reestablished themselves. Once again, butterflies and dragonflies danced lazily over the languid mirror surface. The beavers retreated far up the brook. No one saw any more of them. Not their teeth, their tails, or their dams, or heard their thoughts. Within a week, Poppy and Rye were married by the mice's old nest, which after it had dried out, had been reclaimed by Valerian and Clover. It was Valerian and Clover who, according to mouse custom, performed the marriage ceremony. Thistle and Curly Dock held a canopy of wildflowers over their heads, another mouse tradition. The rest of the mouse family were in full attendance, giggling and laughing, squeaking and chatting, endlessly talking among themselves. As part of the ceremony, Rye read all 32 stanzas of his poem in praise of Poppy. She was charmed. Before the wedding took place, Poppy went to ask Erith to be best porcupine. The old fellow, who had retreated to a clump of trees beyond the ridge, refused with surly indignation. Here's a picture of the wedding. "I'd rather wait here," he grumbled. "It would mean so much to me if you were there," Poppy pressed. "It would mean more to me if you weren't there," Erith retorted. Poppy considered him carefully. "Erith, you never told me what you wanted to say back in the thicket." "Forget it," he muttered. "Erith," she said, "I know you don't want me to say it, but you really are the greatest and sweetest of porcupines, and the ultimate best friend to have come back." "I only came because I couldn't find my way home to Dimwood Forest," Erith sneered. "I needed to get you to get me back home." "But you did do good," Poppy insisted. "If you hadn't come, the beavers would have won." "Beavers," Erith grumbled. "Bunch of furry-faced chisels." "Well," Poppy said, "I still wish you'd come to the wedding." And before Erith knew what she was doing, she went up to him and kissed him on the nose. "Mouse mush," Erith muttered. As Poppy went away, he started to rub the kiss away, but suddenly changed his mind. Instead, he sat for a long while, cross-eyed, staring at his nose. Once the marriage ceremony was over, Rye announced that he and his bride would be leaving the woodlands and going to Dimwood Forest, to Poppy's home. The couple invited the family to visit as often as possible and promised to return when they could. Poppy made her own goodbye. "I have loved 2 of your sons," she told Valerian and Clover. "What fine parents you are. We can only hope to do the same." They all hugged one another. With such a large family, it took a long time. And then, side by side, Rye and Poppy hurried up the hill. Erith was waiting. "Did you get stuck together?" he asked sourly. "It was a beautiful ceremony," Poppy said. "I would have loved you to have been there." "Love," Erith sneered. "The less said about all that slop, the better. Come on, let's go home." They started off. Early on, however, they came to the meadow where Poppy and Rye had first met and danced. Rye looked at Poppy. Poppy looked at Rye. They did not need to say a word. They held up their paws and began to dance upon the meadow. They dipped, they jumped, they swayed, they twirled and whirled. Erith, keeping his distance, watched from afar. Though he tried to hide it, the old porcupine allowed himself a small, hidden smile and a tear. Catching himself, he frowned and turned his back on the dancers. Love, he complained bitterly. Nothing but slug splat stew and toad jam. Phooey. But Erith never did wash his nose. And that's the end of Poppy and Rye. I hope you enjoyed it.